Welcome back. All right, so another news of the day video to close out your day, and it's all signings. Everything on this board is signings as teams get themselves geared up. Need to know who's going to be in, who's going to be out, and all that wonderful stuff, and prevent themselves from going to arbitration. So arbitrators might end up with a pretty quiet month, as I expected. Igor Shesterkin and the New York Rangers have come to an agreement on a 4-year deal. The cap hit, $5,666,667 per season. And for Shesterkin, it's a lot of money, but they're putting their money behind the guy that they believe is going to be their starter. Now, of course, there's still the Georgiev discussion of whether or not he's going to get traded, because word has it he's requested a trade, but that has yet to take place. The other side of this, too, there's been some discussion from Ranger fans on Twitter that you get Shesterkin figured out, then you know exactly how much money you might have for an Eichel deal. And there was one tweet I saw today that said, if they get Eichel, it's highly likely that Zibanejad would be going the other way to Buffalo from the Rangers. And that's going to cause a lot of discussions. Just call it discussions as to what it's going to take for Eichel. But the trade has not happened yet today. But you have to think that an Eichel deal is coming up over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Ilya Samsonov signs a 1-year deal with the Washington Capitals for $2 million. It's a very reasonable contract, especially with some of the other contracts that goaltenders are getting right now. So Samsonov, $2 million. He's going to be the starter. And with him and Vanacek, now the two of them make a combined like $2.8 million. Very reasonable for goaltending in this day and age. Well, 2.7, I guess. A little bit over 2.7. So yeah, Samsonov, solid goaltender who's looking to bounce back from what was an up-and-down season for him. Kuokkanen in New Jersey, one of the better kept secrets in the league. He signs a 2-year deal, which will pay him $3.65 million in total. I like that contract. I like Kuokkanen. The interesting thing for me with New Jersey is I know their record wasn't good. I know that division was stacked against them. But I like a lot of the players in New Jersey. And I think, honestly, things are not that bad for New Jersey right now. And I think they could surprise some people this year. I just have a hard time when I'm looking at the standings and trying to figure out, which teams are going to move up and which ones are going to move down, which teams they're going to pass in the standings if they're going to get into the playoffs. That's the one sticking point I have with New Jersey. But yeah, Kuokkanen being signed is good news. For Calgary, Shillington, who I thought was going to be the guy to go to Seattle, just because I thought with the age and the cap hit of Giordano, maybe they'd look at Shillington. But Shillington signs a 1-year, 2-way deal with the Flames. So we'll see whether or not he spends time in the AHL. I'm pretty sure he has to go through waivers if he's going to go to the AHL. So we'll see. I would think Shillington probably plays with the Flames. It's a 2-way deal, and I believe it's $750,000 at the NHL level. So Shillington will be a member of the Flames for at least this upcoming season, unless they were to lose him on waivers. Olli Juolevi has signed a 1-year deal as well with the Vancouver Canucks for the league minimum of $750,000. So Juolevi is off the concerned list now if you're the Canucks, and there's just the big names left, right? You've got Dickinson, you've got Hughes, you've got Pettersson, and what the Canucks decide to pay these guys, how much they make, could very well decide how much cap space they have, not just for this year, but beyond as well. So some big names still to sign with Vancouver. That's done. Anaheim was busy today. Anaheim getting some stuff done. Max Jones signs a 3-year extension at $1,295,000 per season. So that's the cap hit. And honestly, for Jones, that's decent. If they did end up sending him to the minors, that means that most of that contract is gone because of the amount of money that you can actually send to the AHL going up again this year. Maxime Comtois signs a 2-year deal. His carries a $2,037,500 cap hit. That is fantastic for the guy who was your leading scorer last year. So Comtois, very decent contract. And Josh Mahura signs 2 years, league minimum, $750,000. I like Mahura. I know he hasn't had his break yet with Anaheim. We'll see whether or not he gets that this year. But I like the player, so we'll see how it turns out. But for Anaheim, they're basically done with their work now in the offseason unless they're going to add somebody through trade. The Tampa Bay Lightning, keeping their Stanley Cup dreams alive. Colton signs a 2-year deal for a total of $2.25 million. So that, again, is a contract that with a cap hit of $1.125 million, it could look like an absolute steal by the end of this year. If he plays anywhere near as effectively for 2021-2022 as he did last year in the 30 games he played, and he had 9 goals. So I like that contract a lot for Tampa, who continues to get guys to sign for probably less money than they would get elsewhere, right? Andrew Peeke signs a 2-year deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The cap hit on that one, $787,500. And again, 2-year deal. No fault in that one at all. And an entry-level contract signed today as well by a first-round pick. Fabian Lysell signs a 3-year entry-level contract with the Boston Bruins. Do they envision him coming into training camp and maybe working on getting himself a roster spot? We shall see. The Bruins do have roster spots open, I do believe, and we'll see how things go between now and the opening of their season in October and see how many players they pick up or how many young guys end up making this lineup. So there you go. Very, very busy day for signing, and it's August 9th, so we're about a month away from seeing guys getting in for training camp and all that. So while it may not feel like it, we're not that far out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below regarding any of these signings. Is Shesterkin too high? Is Samsonov at a good price? How do you feel about the 3 signings for Anaheim? All that wonderful stuff. Let me know in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.